Do you often doubt yourself? खुद पे हमेशा ये डाउट होता है that we are not skilled enough, we don't have those capabilities to take a decision, something so urgent which is going to impact our lives. So whenever we are faced with any new or a very difficult circumstance, do we sometimes doubt ourselves? And if yes, then it's a good sign. It's a healthy sign to doubt our own abilities and our capabilities. Yes, you heard it right. Yes, it's good to doubt our own abilities and our own capabilities, because that then opens a window of learning for us. Because then we know that, okay, fine, we are careful, then we try to make amends, we try to walk very cautiously, because we know that we are having a doubt in our head. There is a persistent voice in our head which keeps telling us that, be careful, things may go hunka dory here and there, so go slow. If you think that your skills is a challenge, then it'll tell you first learn those skills and then take a decision. So it's very normal, it's very healthy, and it's okay to have self-doubt in your lives. Hello everyone, this is Sonia, you with me on Thinking Out Loud Thursdays, and we're having our coffee. But before we start today's episode, I hope you've hit the subscribe button. If you've not done so, please do that. It's a big motivation for me as I keep bringing in more and more such meaningful content for all of you, right? So let's get started. Now, see, self-doubt is a very valuable companion for both our personal and our professional growth. Do you agree? Because it's like that friendly caution sign that, telling you to be cautious, encourages you to pause, take a break, assess what's happening around, look around, whether things are going in the right direction, whether some things need to be improved, whether you need to control certain elements in the decisions that you're wanting to take. It helps you not to take a very harsh and a fast forward kind of a decision. It tells you to just take a pause, think through what you want to do, and then it pushes you to do better, to achieve more. So remember when we were giving our school exams or our college exams, for me, maths was my weakest spot. I was never good in maths somehow, I don't know. And maths teacher was my favorite teacher in school. Yes. So just before the exam, I will keep doubting my math skills, that I'm not good in maths. I don't know whether I'll pass or not. Have I, gone through all the subjects or not? So I will keep doubting my own math skills. It happens with all of us. I'm sure you can connect with it, right? So if there is a salesperson will have a self-doubt when he's entering into a closure meeting with a customer. A marketing person will have a doubt when they are launching a big campaign, whether the campaign will perform or not, whether it will be able to connect with the audience or not, whether will I be able to achieve the ROI that I've committed to my seniors or not. So it's good to have self-doubt, because that keeps you in check, that keeps you moving forward, but a little bit of like you're cautious about it. You're not taking very hasty decision and overconfidence that, okay, fine, nothing can go wrong, I'm perfect in this subject. So even if there are people who are mastery of certain art or certain subjects, they also, when they have to take a particular decision, even they doubt that whether am I taking the right decision or not? Should I think about this still more? Do I need to just sit this through and take, give it more time before I launch a particular product or a project in the market or not? Yes. So it actually, so if I tell you, how it is helping you. So firstly, when you're basically doubting your own abilities, so supposing your math skill, like what I was talking about. So when I'm doubting my math skill, what I do, I study more diligently, I study more carefully, I make sure that I've covered all the chapters, and I prepare in a more better way, in a more stronger way, which will help me pass through my exam with some good marks, that I'm happy that yes, this was my weakest subject, but still I passed with some good marks, right? So if a salesperson is basically doubting his sales abilities to say that whether I'll be able to do this closure or not, so what he starts doing is he starts observing other people who are doing sales, noticing what are the kind of barrier questions the client is throwing at, how are they being addressed, and so you try to improve your closing skills and perform better in the area that you are doubting yourself in, right? So self doubt actually then helps you improve your improve your skills, right? The other is self doubt also builds your humility. It helps you be very humble. It leads to humility in a way that, you know, when you are doubting your own abilities, you're opening yourself for feedback, criticism. You are basically looking for somebody to mentor you, to correct you, to tell you, you know, what are the other options that you can consider or not. So it actually builds humility in you as a character itself, right? Because then you're open for learning, you're open for feedback from other people, unlike the other person who is very confident that, okay, fine, I don't need any mentor, I don't want anybody to tell me, you know, how things need to be done because I know it all. Against that person, when you start doubting yourself, you are open for other doors to be explored as well before you walk onto any particular path, or before you open any door where you feel that this is the road or this is the room that you want to enter, right? So it helps you build humility also. Now the other thing what self-doubt does is it makes you more complacent, right? So you self-doubt will let you not just live on the success of your past laurels, you know. It will not just, so if in the past you've been the best salesperson, the best marketer, the best writer, the best artist, self-doubt will not let you just live that laurel forever in your life. You know, it will help you move forward, continue challenging yourself and your skills, and it will keep telling you that, okay, fine, whenever you're starting a new book or whenever you're getting into another closure meeting, you know, it'll keep you in check, it'll keep you grounded, it'll keep you motivated to, okay, fine, you know, I'm getting into a new meeting, he's a new customer, whatever sales I've done in the last month, I was a top performer. It will not get that success get into your head, because if the success gets into your head, that is something that you're leading yourself to a destruction zone, and you don't want to do that, right? So because then the artist who starts questioning his creative abilities, or a salesperson who starts questioning his sale closure skills, or a marketer who starts questioning his or her marketing skills, is basically trying to keep themselves in a check that, yes, you know, every day is a new day, every campaign is a new campaign for me, every customer is a new customer for me. So it's not like, you know, all fingers are alike and apple and apple comparison is happening, because every individual is different, right? Every scenario is different, times are different. Rather, what happened in the last quarter, this quarter the times have changed, maybe some new things are happening, maybe some competition is coming in. So you need to keep abreast with the new things that are happening, and only when you start having that little self-doubt coming into you, which is also a bit of lack of self-confidence, like, you know, you don't have too much of confidence on you, which is okay. Not too much of low self-confidence should not be there, but yes, every time having a little bit of low self-confidence is healthy, is good, because it keeps you in check whenever you're doing any big task, whenever you have to take any big decision also in your life, right? So but there is a very naughty and a very what do I say, a cousin of self-doubt, which is the totally opposite of self-doubt, which is called as suspicion. When you do not trust people around you, it is distrust. You know, that is like the opposite of your self-doubt. Now when so for example, let's take Rahul. Now Rahul is a marketing manager who has to launch a particular campaign, and Rahul knows that he's not a very good leader. He doesn't have good leadership skills, or he's not aware of them. So what he does is he goes to another good leader and he starts observing that leader. He takes some advice from that leader. He improves some of his skills, and when he's launching that campaign, he brings the whole team together in a good way, and the campaign is successful, right? On the other hand, we have Prem. Okay, now Prem is basically again the same marketing manager. We are doing apple to apple comparison here, right? So Prem is also a marketing manager in the same company, and Prem also has to launch a particular campaign and a particular product. And so, but Prem is a micromanager who doesn't have good leadership skills, and he's not even aware that I don't have good leadership skills. And he's a micromanager who does not trust his team, who just stands on the heads of the team members to say, what are they doing? Why are they doing? Why haven't you updated me on this? Any decision, smallest that you take, you have to ask me first. You have to take my approval every time. So he is a micromanager. So with that, what is happening is, because Prem is not trusting his entire team is falling down, is breaking out. And in the long run, what happens is his campaign doesn't perform, because the team is also losing confidence in their own selves, that whether, because maybe they are not able to perform better, so the manager is wanting to have every single update from us. So maybe the team is losing confidence in their own selves, and they are doubting so much in their abilities, which is not a healthy sign. So self-doubt is good, but if you start doing self-doubt beyond a particular line, then it is like you're pushing yourself in a very low space where you do not trust yourself at all. You do not trust your abilities at all. You say that, okay, fine, even if I say a word, maybe it'll go wrong in the given situation all the time, right? So, but suspicion is really not good. It's not healthy. So where self-doubt is making you learn new things, opening you to take mentors' advice, opening you to seek for newer skills in your life. On the other hand, suspicion is leading you to isolation, is leading you to distrust, where and also it's leading you to break your bonds. Your all relationships that you have fostered all your life will at some point or the other crack down. You will not be able to foster those relationships for a very long time if you continue taking this suspicion that you do not trust. Mujhe pata hai wo, that person is lying to me. Even if that person is not lying, but you are suspecting that, yeah, that person is lying to me. My team is always lying to me. They're cheating behind my back. They are gossiping behind my back. They always say bad things about me behind my back. So when these kind of things are happening, it's not a very healthy sign for any kind of a work environment. So choose self-doubt, but not suspicion. Now, why do you doubt yourself? One reason I'll tell you, okay, 3 reasons I'll tell you. One reason is, there is comparison. All the time you are comparing yourself with other people. उसके फॉलोअर्स इंस्टाग्राम में मेरे से ज़्यादा फॉलोअर्स क्यों हैं? मे बी दैट पर्सन इज़ डूइंग समथिंग जो मुझे नहीं आता है, मैं नहीं कर सकता, या मुझसे होगा ही नहीं. दैट पर्सन हैज़ मोर फॉलोअर्स ऑन इंस्टा देन मी, मे बी बिकॉज आई एम नॉट डूइंग समथिंग राइट, और मे बी आई कांट डू इट, और मे बी आई डोंट नो हाउ टू डू इट, और मुझसे होगा ही नहीं. सो you keep doubting yourself because you're comparing yourself to others. Now a salesperson starts comparing that, why are my sales for this quarter low, and that person, every sales meeting he sits, he does a closure, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है. I am not able to do that much of sale closures while the other person is doing it. Maybe it's not my cup of tea. Maybe, I will never be able to achieve that kind of sales. So you start doubting yourself because you're comparing yourself with the other person, right? So comparison often leads to self-doubt, but when you're doubting yourself while comparing yourself to others, that way you're also opening door to figure out, to approach that person to say that what is it that you're doing that you have so many followers, what is it that you're doing that your campaign is such a big success, what is it that you've done that your every closure, like every client that you sit down for a sale closure and you're able to do the closure, what is it that you do, and I want to learn from it. So you're opening yourself for feedback, like I mentioned earlier, right? So comparison often leads to self-doubt. Number 2 is failures. If we have faced failures in the past, so for example, हमने एक marketing campaign की and that campaign did not perform. So it was a failed campaign. So the next time we are preparing for another new campaign, we will keep doubting ourselves. You know, I planned that campaign, I did everything right, but still the campaign failed. I don't know whether this campaign will perform or not. Or, you know, if you've not been able to close a single sale in the past and you did very miserably in sales, so the next time you're sitting in a closure meeting, you will keep doubting yourself that, you know, last 2 sales did not happen, I was not able to close, will I be able to close this sale or not, or will this also, will the client will just walk away without, you know, closing or giving the check, you know. So then you start doubting yourself. So our past failures become examples to us in such a strong way that we start doubting our current present times where we have to take a decision, and it could be a similar decision that we have to take, but then we start doubting ourselves. So failures, the past failures often lead us to doubting our own self, which is natural, which is normal, but idea is to learn from those failures, course correct ourselves, and then move forward, you know. And I think then the self-doubt will keep coming down, but then it's not that you should, any time that you're getting into any situation, always have a little self-doubt, even if you've started performing better, you've learned new skills, and now, you know, your sales are picking up or your marketing campaigns are performing very well. So the next time you are sitting with a client for a closure meeting, or the next time you're planning a campaign, it should not be that, you know, my last campaign was good, so tuck I'll do, and, you know, things will be sorted. No, it's good to have a little doubt. It keeps you in check all the time, right? Now the third point that actually often leads us to doubt our own self is lack of validation. You know, when people don't appreciate the work that you're doing. So for example, look at an employee who works under a leader who never appreciates the team, who will never say good words to the team member, no matter the team member has performed, he is doing brilliant sales, he's done everything right in terms of the marketing campaign, and he's written a beautiful content for some blog that was supposed to be posted, or he's written beautiful content for a newsletter, but the leader never acknowledges or validates that yes, you're doing a good work, and that somewhere makes your confidence, self-confidence levels come down, and then you start doubting yourself. You know, my boss never appreciates what I'm doing, so is it something that I'm not doing right, or what do I do about it? So then you're confused, you're lost, and but vis-a-vis the other scenario, if your boss starts giving you a validation of everything that you do in terms of sale closure meeting, oh Rahul, you did brilliant, you know, that client was a tough client, but you handled it very well, you know. So next time, just these are few things that you can also consider when you're sitting with another customer. Now what happens is, Rahul is like all charged up that yes, my boss liked the way that I closed the sale. So if you've written a blog, you've written any content, you take it to your boss to say, sir, these are the blogs that we've written, which will go out in the website or wherever, whichever platform that it has to go. And the boss reads the blog and says, fabulous, you know, your writing skills have improved drastically, and I'm surprised and I'm happy that, you know, you on your own are taking initiative and you're writing so well now. So what happens is, you know, you are happy, you feel that you're work was acknowledged, was appreciated, and so your confidence level also comes up. And so the next time you're writing, you will not doubt that much into performing or doing your entire work. You will still have a little self doubt to say that now I have to meet the expectations of my boss, what has already been set by through my work. So that way then you will doubt yourself that will this article of mine also impress my boss the way it impressed other time. But at least it is better than not receiving any validation at all, because in that case it affects the team in a very bad way. It brings down their morale, then they lose interest in their job itself. So I think lack of validation also is one of the reasons why people have self-doubt amongst themselves. Now, one more point that I remembered was that sometimes how we are brought up, our upbringing also becomes a little factor in doubting our own abilities. Because so for example, if from childhood only our mind has been conditioned in a way to say that you grow up, you go to college, you take up a job, and till you die, retire, you will only be working for a company. So there is nobody in our entire family, हमारे पूरे खानदान में किसी ने business नहीं किया है. So what happens is, because your mind is conditioned that you have to only do a job, you have to only earn a salary, on a monthly salary only you have to earn. So whenever you have the thought of doing your own startup, you will have a self-doubt coming in, because you will remember the conditioning that has been there for so many years in your mind, of the words of your parents, of your siblings, of your relatives keep ringing in कि हमारे खानदान में कभी किसी ने बिजनेस नहीं किया है, कभी सक्सेसफुली नहीं हुआ है किसी का बिजनेस. तो whenever you are starting a business, then you'll have that doubt in you that my parents said this, my relatives said this, my siblings were saying this, and you become a little cautious. So then what you do is you keep a check of, okay, fine, to do this, what are the things that I need? You create a bucket list and then you start ticking. You become even more diligent. You bring in more humility. You seek for mentor help. You become very open to learning new things, so that you are prepared when you want to launch your own startup. On the other hand, if you look at the cousin, suspicion, right? Suspicion basically comes from if you've had any past betrayal. So if you think that one of your team member has backstabbed you in a very ugly way, so the next time, even if you've got a good team, you will not trust them just because you faced a betrayal. But we have to understand that, betrayal will be part of our life, but if we're going to hold on to it and then move forward in our lives, we are harming our own self. Nobody else is going to get harmed. Only we will stop our growth in a professional and a personal way as well, right? Also, sometimes rumors lead to suspicion. When you hear that somebody was talking bad about you, so which means there are people spreading bad rumors, so then you don't start trusting, then you don't trust anyone in your entire office as well, right? So I think leave the suspicion out of your life, incorporate self-doubt. It is healthy, it's good. I've spoken so much about it. So next time you hear a voice in your head, thum jao, ruk jao, hear to what the voice is saying, analyze what the things are, reflect upon what can be done to improve the situation and improve, and then move forward with a full throttle and make a flourishing career. Do whatever decisions that you need to make. I hope they bring a lot of success to your lives. On that note, I'm going to end my Thinking Out Loud Thursdays. I hope you enjoyed this session. Of course, see, I'm also having a little bit of self-doubt कि पता नहीं आप लोगों को ये वीडियो अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं लगेगा, but I'm going with the fact that it's a good video. I've tried to incorporate everything, so I'm hoping that you all will love this video of mine, right? And if you do, then hit the subscribe button. Yes, see, that's gonna motivate me to keep bringing in more and more interesting episodes for all of you. Yes, have a fabulous day, everyone, and I'm gonna see you next Thursday. Bye bye.